ready to embark on a transformative journey? Hi, I am Sharon Kumara, host of Awakened Soul. By tuning into Awakened Soul Radio, you will be inspired to shed the illusions that bind you, connect more deeply with your inner wisdom, and step into a liberating life of freedom, clarity, and purpose. Each episode, I share stories and lessons learned that help cultivate greater compassion, patience, and understanding, qualities to embody in everyday life. I invite you to join in as we expand our awareness, exploring diverse topics, and gain access to practical tools, guided exercises, and expert advice to help overcome fears and break the chains that bind us. Join us on Awakened Soul. Your journey to freedom and true self begins here. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Awakened Soul Radio. I am your host, Sharon Sananda Kumara. This is where we break through the illusion and discover our true selves. Today, I'm talking with Holly Cole, my friend Holly Cole. Hi, Holly.
Hey there. How's it going?
Yeah, good. It's going great. Thank you for being here. And Holly is a master tarot card reader. And she has over 17 years of experience. And today we're going to talk about her journey in the world of tarot and do some mini readings toward the end.
Yeah.
The last part of our show.
Good
So
time of
good
the
to
year
see
for
you.
it.
What's that?
It's a good time of the year for it, with it being new year, new energy.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah, people want to know what's going on, how's my year going to look, that type of thing,
Yep,
right? Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay, so Holly, do you mind sharing a little of your journey with the tarot?
Absolutely. I started playing with tarot cards in my mid-20s, and I was never raised with like a religious background, which I kind of appreciate because it kept me very open. I've always been very spiritual, but not a good rule follower, I guess. But I actually got a psychic reading in my mid-20s, and I was really interested in learning when I was going to be a rock star. And she instead told me that I'm very psychic and I should start developing that talent instead. So she recommended that I get tarot cards, actually. So I followed her advice, and then I just very naturally took to it. And I think kind of having a music background and songwriting kind of opened me up in a way with tarot to be able to kind of weave the story together or see certain patterns. And, we're playing with energy in tarot and in music. And so stuff that you can't see is really my jam.
Well, you're a singer, right? Aren't you a singer for a
Mhm.
band here? Okay. Well, Holly and I live very close to each other. But yeah, that's amazing. I love that too, that part of you too.
Yes, I've been neglecting that part of myself, doing a lot more tarot these days. But yeah, it's been a blast, and I kind of opened up to everything that I wanted to study metaphysically because of tarot, because I think you really can kind of get your feet wet with a few different modalities of energy work or metaphysical modalities by introducing yourself to tarot. So that was definitely a good experience that has brought me to now, and couldn't be happier with my tarot journey.
That's awesome. So doesn't has a meaning? Doesn't the word tarot have some type of meaning to it?
I myself am not sure. I've read a lot of
Okay.
history of tarot, and it used to be called tarocchi in like
Okay.
1300s Italy, and it's got a really vague background because they kind of see it appearing in history in the 1300s, but it had already been around for a long time before that. So they actually think it's possibly like even BC is how long tarot's been around. So
That's kind of what I've heard too or felt. And
yeah,
yeah. So
yeah.
I'm sorry, the archetype or the cards themselves are pretty ancient, right? Or the symbols of the cards are pretty ancient. Is that correct?
Yeah, I know at some point in time, so tarot has two different decks, and one is the archetype side, and then the other side of the deck is like a regular deck of playing cards where there's suits and numbers basically. And at
Mhm.
some point they kind of put both of those decks together, and that is what makes up the 78 cards that we have today. So using those archetypes with the regular side of the deck, I call it's the major arcana, that's the archetype side, and then the minor arcana, which is the regular deck of cards side. And I call that the choose your own adventure side because it's kind of more reflective of what we're doing here on Earth and what results we get from our energy. And then the archetypes are kind of, I call it the universe says this side of the deck, where it's kind of the puppet master universe where you're right here for a reason to learn this lesson. And kind of weaving that together is what tarot is.
Mm-hmm. So you do fairs and things like that with tarot, right? I mean, you travel around like a gypsy. You travel around and set up your gypsy booth, your tarot reading booth.
It's perfect for me also because I'm a triple Cancer. So like the crab carrying your home around element is really big for me. And so it really works out well. I love setting up my little tarot booth. And then I just do a ton of parties and bachelorette parties and weddings and work parties and all night grad parties and baby showers and like anything, you name it, I've probably done tarot at it. So that is really just a phenomenal experience, getting invited into all kinds of fun people's homes or getting to be part of people's major life events and getting to give like the new couple their first tarot reading as a married couple, and just amazing, rewarding experiences left and right.
Yeah, that's awesome. So can you help us understand how, I mean, I read oracle cards for myself. I don't read oracle cards for people anymore. I just use my body as the pendulum or oracle anymore with what I do. But my first deck of cards was a tarot deck when I first started developing my intuitive abilities. But for some reason, I didn't feel drawn to it. And I mean, I still have it. It's a beautiful deck. I don't remember what it's, maybe it's a Crowley deck. I'm not sure, but it's a beautiful deck. And I wasn't drawn to the tarot. I think I felt it was too difficult for me, whereas oracle cards just were right there. Okay. All right. Now I understand what that means. But because I got this really big book with it too, you know.
Oh yeah.
I bought a book to go with it, thick book.
Yep.
I'm like, oh gosh, okay. So I felt later that I probably should have worked more with them intuitively rather than, you know, going into the left brain of things. That's just me. Anyway, so if you could help us maybe understand, because I know a lot of people, and you probably do too, use the tarot for guidance on a regular basis in their own life. Right?
Yes. Yeah. You know, I think when you can work with the tarot really fluidly, or if you just have a good reader that you can go to, then you can really start to learn kind of about your patterns in life. You know, there are kind of two sides to learning tarot, and one is that intuitive side, and the other is kind of the book learning side, where you learn things like what the different elements are, which are the suits in tarot, which, you know, correspond to earth, air, fire, water. What does that mean? How does that show up in your life and in your energy? That in particular, I think, and the numerology aspect of tarot, you can really start to see what people's energy is like and how it operates and kind of what your modus operandi is. And so, for instance, if I see someone who has a lot of cups that are reversed, you know, if we have an upright cup, which is emotional health and ability or strength and emotions, if we have an upright cup, then we're overflowing with love. But if we have a reverse cup, we're drained or we pour ourselves out far too much. So you can really easily see, oh man, I'm someone who gives too much. I need some boundaries, you know, or people who show up as a 9, or particularly reverse 9s. 9 is kind of integrity and independence and kind of, hey, you can't help me with this. Only I can do this, you know, by myself. But reverse 9 is very much more of a, wow, everything's on my shoulders and I'm the only one that can do it and no one's here to help me. So it's not as fun independent, it's more like, oh gosh, I'm a lonely island with a lot of stuff on my shoulders. So
Mhm.
you can really start to see these patterns in your life, or just notice how you operate your energy. And then from one reading to another, you can see your progress. So your next reading, for instance, now that you've learned, oh man, I'm someone who pours myself out too much and I give too much. If I try to correct course and start adopting some boundaries or learn how to tell people no, then maybe my next tarot reading, I'm going to have upright cups because I'm keeping some energy for myself instead of just bleeding it out and giving it away all the time. So it's really fascinating. I call it kind of a report card from the universe.
I like that. Yeah. So, so that way you're having that conversation with the universe. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And with
Mhm.
your guides or your higher self, or your subconscious, it's coming face to face with the things that are hard to even notice about ourselves. We're in our own energy all the time, so we can't really get a clear picture of it from a distance. And with tarot, it will draw you a picture of what your energy is doing and where you might want to change potentially.
Yeah. That's awesome. It opens up a portal to a doorway to the higher planes. I mean, I believe that all cards do, or all any tools we use to connect to the higher planes opens
Mm-hmm.
up that portal. And our intention, of course, is everything too. So
Mm-hmm.
let me ask you this, Holly. A lot of religions. So I was raised Catholic, right? But I'm not a good Catholic. I say this all the time. I apologize to Catholics. Doesn't mean that I don't love Catholic people or anything like that. I guess you could say a Christian because of my relationship with Christ now, that deep relationship. But there's a lot of information out there that is paints tarot in a negative light.
Mm-hmm.
How do you address that?
I think it's just people really not understanding what exactly tarot is. Tarot gets a bad rap as being fortune telling, and
Hmm.
it's really not fortune telling, it's now telling. It's where am I at in life right now? How did I get here? Where might I be going based on how I'm operating my energy currently? And so, I tell people tarot is really a message from yourself. And so, are you afraid of yourself? You don't, and then the other thing is I don't do scary tarot. I don't do doom and gloom tarot. I do, if anything, I call it comedy tarot. But it's really just it's a way, we all have choice in life. Like, and tarot's a way to see what we might need to make some different choices on. So it's really having a better awareness of yourself and how you operate. And it has nothing to do with religion or being, something that would oppose a religion. It's to me, spirituality or religion, or whoever you kind of give that energy to, it's to me is the same as the universe or the universal consciousness. And so that's kind of where we're drawing from when we're connecting through tarot, is to yourself and through that universal source, whatever name you want to call it.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. Because I know, well, I'm an out of body experiencer. I'm an astral traveler and all that. And I know that the Christian religion, a lot of times, I don't know which faith or anything like that or which religion, but they look down on out of body experiences and astral travel as well and
Right.
demonize it and tell us that we shouldn't be traveling astrally when it's really just like what you said. It's really you're going inside yourself. There's a misnomer that we're going out somewhere. We're
Yeah.
actually diving in within ourselves.
Yeah.
And so who knows us better than ourselves?
Right.
Yeah.
And in tarot, especially, you're not connecting. It's not like a Ouija board. You're not connecting to some spirit or something like that. You're connecting to yourself. It's totally designed to help you. It's not about anybody else. So, and aside from that, there's actually references to different spiritual traditions and religions in tarot. There's Christian references, Judaism references, uh,
Mm.
different Wiccan references, also different mythology, like the story of Persephone is wrapped up in the High Priestess card and different things like that. There's even Buddhism is referred kind of in the Hanged Man card. So I call it an oracle of oracles. There's really something for everybody in tarot. And tarot does give credit to all of these different traditions in a way.
Mhm. Right. Would you say that since you've been doing it for so long, would you say that it becomes second nature for you I can tell it is for you anyway, because when you were doing readings on the show, it was just so natural for you that, so it becomes second nature for you to be able to tune in to the archetypes and to the messages. And
Yeah.
am I making any sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I think after a while, when you work so much with, I mean, I've had this deck since 2000 and late. I don't know. This was my second deck. My first deck, I think it was, when I was a baby tarot reader, and you take your cards everywhere with you because that's what they tell you to do. And then you forget that you live in Oregon and it's going to get rained on and ruin your deck. And then you learn and you buy your second deck. And that was my story. But I got this deck, I think maybe around 2010. And so I've had this deck for a long time, and it almost becomes like an extension of yourself.
Yeah.
And so it's really cool to me because, it's not about just you being ready to give a reading. You got to get the person you're reading for ready to step into this weird area with you in this kind of tarot portal, and be ready to be very open. And so getting them ready, and into this place where, I like to do a little grounding, a little intention setting, things like that. But it's really interesting to me to see how well other people work with my deck and know when to stop shuffling the cards. And then you get these very telltale, well, I guess you are going through a breakup, like, very obvious messages. So it's fascinating to me how it's kind of like you can help finesse other people to connect with your tarot deck once you use it for a really long time.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I meant. It just becomes a part of you. Thank you
Oh,
for
yeah.
bringing clarity to what I was trying to say.
It's like Edward Scissorhands or like Holly Tarot
Yeah.
Hands.
Yes, definitely. And I believe all our tools are basically like that anyway. But there's something about the tarot that is fascinating and mysterious. And I think it's like you said, we don't understand it a lot mainstream,
Mhm.
especially in Christian society. We don't really understand it and how it works. And just like anything else, it has to do with communicating with our inner self, higher self, inner self. That knowledge has been taken from us, in my opinion.
Yep, I agree.
Hmm. Yeah. So, I have to ask you this. Do you remember any lifetimes where you were a gypsy or you were reading tarot and you were traveling? Because I just see you doing that.
It's funny you say that because the lady that gave me my psychic reading in my mid-20s that told me that I'm psychic and that I should buy a tarot deck to start developing, she told me I've been female in every life and I have been a psychic or a witch in every life, and that I've been hanged before, and that I sometimes have an issue with things around my neck, which I do kind of like. I don't like things right around my neck. And she told me some really crazy stuff that, I mean, I didn't do tarot at this point. So this was all like really weird to me, and I had to kind of think about what she told me. But she told me that I used to talk to spirits when I was a little child, and then they showed me how they died and it freaked me out, and then I shut off. But she told me that she said, you talked to two females and one male, and was describing all this stuff to me. And then I started thinking about it. And I had two imaginary friends at my grandma and grandpa's house when I was like 3 and 4 years old, and their names were Brenda and Carrie, and I would play house with them. And I remember this vividly. And then I remember, and we lived really close to my grandparents. And then my family moved. And I remember going to my new house and thinking, I want to play with Brenda and Carrie right now. And I was 3 years old. And then I heard in my head, or just knew, they can't come here. And I think they were earthbound spirits that were attached to my grandparents' house. And like, so I got this psychic reading. She told me all this crazy stuff. She also told me I was a jazz singer in my last life. And I was like, that's crazy because I'm a jazz singer in this life too. And so, and I totally think we have a type, like when we reincarnate, like we're probably similar to how we were last time in various ways. So yes, I think psychic witch jazz singer has been my kind, I guess, for maybe a few lifetimes, but definitely the psychic and witch part apparently has been many lifetimes. So it's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I just see that. I definitely see that, especially the gypsy in you.
Oh yeah.
You
Oh
with
yeah.
with your troupe, and you enter and you play music too. Yeah.
I did take belly dance for a while too.
Oh, well, there you go.
You're on to certain things, I guess.
Some things just don't go away, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah.
For some things, yeah, definitely.
Right.
The other things we can leave behind. That's,
Yes.
that's why we're here, is to leave those things, the heavy things behind.
Right.
Right. Yeah. So Holly's going to be doing some tarot readings if anyone is wants a reading. I did put out a notice that excuse me, Holly would be doing some mini readings, and first come, first serve. So Nat, if there's anyone that has any readings, that they can put their name in or question for Holly. And in the meantime, we'll just keep talking about the tarot.
And we can also, for anybody who wants a reading, if you don't have a particular question, we can just ask what's the best information for me right now. So you don't have to have a question if you want a reading. We can do it open-ended as well.
Okay, good. Okay. So first started doing tarot, okay, or tarot, as some people call it, you said you were in your 20s?
Yeah. I think I got that psychic reading when I was, I think 27,
Okay.
26 or 27. And I started practicing, and it takes a while to study. There's 78 cards. There's a lot going on, plus the reversals, So I think maybe a year after practicing just at home and things like that, then I of course became that friend that is like, let me give you a tarot reading to all of your friends, and you have all the friends that you practice on. And then I think I would venture out and do things like hang out at my local haunt watering hole and see if random people want a tarot reading on the patio with their cocktail, or things like that.
Mhm.
And then I think I started shortly after that is when the first Oregon Ghost Conference started, and my friend Rocky Smith Jr. puts that on. And it's an event I do every year. It's out in Seaside. Started in Oregon City, and then it kind of outgrew the space. So now it's in Seaside. And I think it's going to be second to the last weekend of March, around the 21st, 22nd. I don't have the dates right in front of me, but that weekend. And it is a fantastic event for anybody who is interested. It's a 3-day long event with every kind of speaker sharing awesome ghost evidence or talking about things like angels, or all kinds of metaphysical stuff. And there's a lot of vendors, and I teach tarot at that as well in person. But I started doing that, and that was my first public event when I was still a very baby tarot reader, and it was pretty crazy because even then, my very first year doing a public event, had like a line that wrapped around the hallway, which was kind of intimidating. But yeah, so I kind of stuck to just doing things like a ghost conference once a year and readings for people that knew me, and started appearing on one app, I think, back in the day. But I didn't really take it all that seriously as like a business. It was just kind of, oh, maybe I'll do this a few times a year, make, a couple $100 here and there. And then I think the pandemic is when a lot of things shifted for a lot of people, and myself included. And that's when I started thinking maybe I should work this into a more of a business opportunity and take my practice more seriously and myself more seriously. And now I've been doing great with this as my super fun side hustle for a few years now.
That's awesome. Yeah. I've been to the Ghost Conference, I don't know, 2, 3 times, I guess. Yeah. And it's a lot of fun. It's grown so much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It kind of takes over the town now.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. Anyone local in Oregon or in the area should check it out if you haven't been.
Yep.
Okay. So how about if we do some readings while we wait for people to ask for some? And I was wondering if you would do a reading well, for me,
Yeah.
a quick reading, and also one for the collective for
Oh,
the
yeah.
year.
Yeah,
Okay. Where
absolutely.
we're at, maybe
Hmm.
moving forward.
That sounds good. So I'm just going to shuffle here for a moment.
Okay.
Let's reset the energy for you. And let's just take a few deep breaths and kind of shake off the day. Let go of any stress, let go of any blocked energy, and just be nice and present within ourselves. And stay connected to the earth and just let the earth keep us grounded and supported while we do this reading. And if you would be so kind as to send your energy out to the universe, and we're just intending whatever's the best information for Sharon tonight. That's what we'd like to know. And if you have a specific question, go ahead and intend that as well. And you just send your energy to the cards, Sharon, and tell me when it feels good to stop shuffling.
That feels good.
Okay. Okay. We've got here. Wow. All major arcanas. So all the universe says this.
Okay.
So your
Yelling at
first,
me, huh?
oh yeah. Well, it means you're right where you should be, and they are very much listening to you.
Nice.
So your first card is the Hanged Man. This is in the past, and the Hanged Man is about looking at things from a different perspective. So that's what's going on in this card. Is this guy is literally hanging upside down, so he can look at things from a different vantage point. This is the card that I was talking about earlier that connects to Buddhism, because it's kind of like how Buddha had to sit under the tree and reach enlightenment. So the Hanged Man is about shifting perspective on things. And for you, this could be a lot of different things. This could have to do with your business and kind of shifting perspective on where you want to go with it. But this could also be kind of going all the way back to your own enlightenment and kind of when you had your psychic awakening and all of that. Because the Hanged Man is also about being suspended, and you had some kind of accident or something, correct? Or
I had an NDE, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So that I think is talking partly about you changing perspective on everything at that time in your life.
Mm.
And that's kind of when you came into awareness, or I guess developing everything that you are now. So that's a really fantastic card to get in the past.
Good.
And it's saying that you continue to be open and flexible, which is what we need.
Do.
Your present card is the Empress. And the Empress is basically the quintessential loving mother card. This is a 3, and 3 is the number of creation and creativity. Or, if we take energy A and energy B, we can mix them together and have energy C. So it's kind of about what are we creating in this moment. But since she's the mother card and she's got these long flowing kind of Mona Lisa-esque robes, it's, she might be with child or a metaphorical child, cooking something up, cooking up new business ideas or new modalities or whatever you want to do. But this is what you've been doing presently and very currently with your business and expanding.
Yes.
So That's a beautiful card to get there. And she is giving of herself to make this wheat grow, make this water flow, make the trees grow. So it's all about you being a giving person and creating everything that you have around you, which is fantastic and true.
Beautiful.
Your last card is the moon, and the moon is about going through kind of a crazy, for lack of a better term, challenging time in your life, but it's a good challenge, to be clear. This is the card that is kind of, it's about having to kind of question everything, question how you're doing things, question what you want to give your energy to, or how you want to proceed on this beautiful path. But there's a very long path, very long journey leading to mountains. So there's indications of like further spiritual development or enlightenment, things like that. But this card is about our wild side, our subconscious, and it's kind of about how we have to kind of lose ourselves and go a little crazy to find ourselves. So there's a lot of self-discovery coming up. Anytime you have two pillars in tarot, that acts as like a threshold. And so when I cross that threshold, I'm going to be a new version of myself or in a new version of my life. So you have already been changing perspective, cooking things up, planting seeds, and now you're ready to go on a long, beautiful journey of further development.
Beautiful. I love it.
Yeah.
Thank
and this
you.
is the Pisces card. So it's a water sign and it's definitely got some psychic vibe going on in the card. So perfect for you.
Makes total sense. Wow. Thank you so much. So Nat said that he wouldn't mind a reading.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our producer Nat.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Hello.
I would love one.
Awesome. Let me shuffle and reset the energy for you.
Awesome.
Have you ever done tarot before?
I have not.
Oh, nice.
Oh, a newbie.
Well, thank you for letting me be your first reading.
I'm very excited.
All right. So same deal. Let's just take some nice deep cleansing breaths and shake off the day and be nice and present within our own energy. And let's stay connected to the earth. And let's send that energy out to the universe. And we're just intending whatever is the best information to hear tonight. That is what we'd like to know. And you can go ahead and send your energy to the cards. And please tell me when it feels good to stop shuffling.
How about now?
Okay. Okay. You've got some cool cards as well. So you're starting with, in the past, the High Priestess card. So this is another major arcana card, or the universe says this type of card. And the High Priestess is basically the psychic card. So this is saying that you are very in touch with yourself on a deep level. And you might be kind of deeper than the average Joe in certain ways and more in touch with yourself than the average person. And this is also, there's another set of pillars here. So this is saying that you have kind of transformed yourself a few times already in the past, because when you cross that threshold, it's kind of signifying that you're in a new energy within yourself or a new part of your life, or you're kind of a new person. You've got 3 cards here and 2 of them have females in them and 1 has a male. So what it's saying to me is you're very in touch with your female energy. So probably very emotionally open and aware and capable.
I would say that's pretty true. I mean, like, I'm a big Taylor Swift fan, so I think it works.
Totally. That's awesome. So presently you have King of Wands reversed. When we have a card reversed or upside down, it takes on a bit more of the negative aspects of that card. And this is the King of Wands. And so in tarot, you've got this 1 through 10 aspect, which would be kind of a chapter of your life. And 10 would be kind of the goal that we're trying to get to. After that, you got Page, Knight, Queen, and King. So King is really the fullest manifested that you can get. And Wands are the energy of fire. So that's basically like what fires you up, or the fire in your belly would be my cliff notes. So this has to do with your spirit, your will, your drive, your motivation, what calls to your spirit, what do you want to pour your energy into, what gives you energy back, what you're motivated and inspired by, those types of things. And so if we have an upright king, he's in the throne, everything's all good, he's in charge, people respect that. He's a very inspiring, passionate leader when he's upright. But when we have a reversed king, that throne is wearing him or wearing him down. And so his energy is getting kind of stifled, or maybe he's burning the candle at both ends. And instead of being all nice and in charge, it's kind of like there's too many duties upon this king's shoulders, and it doesn't feel so good to be the king right now. So I don't know if you have taken on some extra responsibilities or something and have a lot on your shoulders right now, but this is saying you are maybe getting drained of energy and not really having a lot of energy left at the end of the day to just do what you want to do, and might be kind of burning yourself out. Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah, that definitely does. I mean, I only recently joined the Transformation Network, but and I love being here, and every show is so fantastic, and it's a lot. I mean, we're running stuff so for many hours of the day, so I'm working hard, and yeah, it can be draining at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Well, you're doing a great job. We appreciate you.
Yes, thank you, Nat.
So I've got good news for you. Your last card, which is the future, you've got upright. So we're back to more positive information on these cards.
All right, let's go.
Yep. And you've got Page of Swords. And so pages are, you've got that 1 through 10, and then 10 would be kind of the end of that chapter. And then page would be your new chapter, basically. So this is saying you're starting a new chapter. And swords are the element of air. So they're everything that's up here in the air. So basically your mentality, your communication, how do you think about things? How do you explain things? How do you communicate? Do other people respect what you say? Are you able to relay the information accurately? And this is one of my favorite cards because there's 4 pages, but the rest of them are all boy pages. And this is the only girl page. So it takes on an extra kind of I'm being brave against the world type of energy for me. And we know you already rock some female energy very well. So you're kind of back to yourself is what it says to me. And swords are a tool or a weapon. You could take that sword and be like, charge, this is where I'm going, get out of my way. Or I'm going to draw this line in the sand and this is my boundary and don't cross it. So swords are about directions. So this is saying you're going to know how to direct whatever it is you have to do here at the Transformation Network, especially directing communication, directing information, and it feels like you're in a better position than the overwhelming kind of burning the candle at both ends feeling that you have maybe now. So I think this job's going to become easier and you're going to know how to kind of direct things or delegate things like that better. And you won't feel like you're draining like you have been in this reverse King of Wands.
That's great. That's great to hear. I'm so happy. I don't think it's not a competition, obviously, Sharon, but I think my reading was better.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you think that. I think my reading was better, but who that's because it was my reading. But
I think that's true.
Right? Yeah.
It's comparing apples to oranges. You just can't,
Exactly.
No,
you can't do it.
Yeah.
Everybody gets their right fruit.
Yes, totally. Awesome. So that was great. So let's do a reading. Oh, first I want to say hi to my friend Moto, who chatted a hello on the screen here. Hello, Moto. Good to see you here. Or, well, I don't really see you, but thank you for being here.
We feel you.
That's right. We feel you. There you go. So, Holly, if you don't mind doing a reading for the
collective.
Yeah, let's see what comes up.
Absolutely. And let's just take some nice deep breaths. And why don't you help me gather this energy here?
Sure.
Let's take some nice deep cleansing breaths and just shake off these previous readings. And we're just going to tap into that greater collective. So everybody watching, send your energy.
Mm-hmm.
And let's connect our energy to the earth. We're just going to thank the earth for keeping us supported through all of this. And we're just going to intend out to the universe whatever is the best information for us to hear as a collective right now. That is what we would like to know. And if you would like to help decide when we should stop shuffling, Sharon, I would appreciate that.
That feels good.
Perfect. Okay. That's interesting. Okay, cool reading.
Good.
So we've got in the past 9 of Swords upright. And I think I mentioned 9 earlier in an example. So, there's the numerology aspects in tarot. We've got 1 through 10 basically. And so 9 is all the way at the end of that chapter, right next to 10. 10 would be kind of the completion or the full manifestation. But 9 is right there, right next to it. So 9 has lived through 1 through 8 and is an older and wiser number. And so 9 is that integrity and independence number. So 9 is that number when it's upright that's like, hey, you can't help me with this. Only I can go do this by myself. Or, I have to take responsibility for my stuff. And so, it's different when I say independent than a 1. A 1 is like it's the first number. So it's like infantile and more like me. 9 is more like, hey, only I can deal with this. I don't want to put my stuff on you. So that's where that greater sense of responsibility comes with the 9, that integrity and independence comes from that place. Swords, we're in that air aspect again, which we just discussed in the last reading. So mentality, communication, the stuff that's up here in the air. So how we think about things, how we communicate things, how we make connections with other people. Also decisions, because you could take that sword to kind of direct your life and direct your energy. So this is a card that is basically stress. This guy is sitting up in bed at night. I'm trying to get the glare off of the card, but this guy is sitting up in bed at night, just kind of stressing out about stuff. Did I say the wrong thing? Did I upset someone? Did I offend someone? Does everybody dislike me now? Have I burned some bridges accidentally? This is like an anxiety card. Losing sleep.
Yeah, I can see that in the collective for sure.
Oh, yeah. And this is in the past. So this is kind of where we're coming from already. And I think we all feel this. I think we felt this way since like 2020, actually.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So presently, we feel like we can't do anything. We have 8 of Swords reversed. And so 8 of Swords reversed is a really interesting card because 8 is actually the strength number. So if you think of that Mobius strip or the infinity symbol, it's that unbreakable chain of energy. And so in this card, which we're still in Swords, so we're still in mentality, communication, decisions, and actions. And I think we feel very tongue-tied as a collective right now. And that's part of why this card is reversed. It's like we don't even know where to begin to mend certain bridges or to connect like we used to. And so when this card is upright, this gal is like, hey, I'm afraid if I speak my truth, I'm going to get cut. So I am just going to tie myself up and put a blindfold on and not look and just stay put until it's safe to move. And when the card is upright, the meaning is kind of, hey, take the blindfold off. If you just walk straight ahead, you're going to be fine. Just go for it. But when the card is reversed, we still feel very tied up. And like, we can't make a move because what's the right move? Yeah. What is the right move to make? How do we start to connect again? Or how do we start to bridge certain distances in our thoughts or in the ways that we communicate, basically? And I think that, like, this very much like is what it's felt like for a long time. So we have a really amazing card at the end, Upright Magician. So we're in a major arcana card, and this is this is the second card of the major arcana. The first card is the Fool, and the Fool is the guy that the whole major arcana is about, basically. So it's his journey through life. And the Magician is the first person he meets. And so if you haven't seen the Fool card, he's the guy that has the hobo pack on his back. If you've seen tarot on TV, they always show the Fool card. But so the Magician's the first person he meets, and the Magician has a Mobius strip over his head. And what did we just have? A reversed 8. So now we have implied an upright 8. Our strength is back. And the Magician asks the Fool, hey, what's in your little hobo pack, Fool? And the Fool doesn't know. So the Fool puts his hobo pack on the table. They unwrap it. And what is inside? The cups, the pentacles, the swords, and the wands, which are the suits from the other side of the deck. So the message is, you have all the tools you need inside to do whatever it is you want to do. You may not know how to use them all. You may still be developing them. But we have the tools we need to do what we need to do and have a beautiful new beginning, because this is card number 1. So it looks like we get a beautiful new beginning where we're back to maybe feeling ourselves and feeling empowered rather than feeling like this.
Yeah. Wow. That's exactly how I've seen it, seen the future, or seen us in my intuition and my visions and things like that.
That's great.
That's exciting. That's really exciting, because we have been pretty out of sync, out of sorts for a while now.
And disconnected. Yeah. So that's a beautiful ending. And I love that tarot just validates you. It will not blow sunshine up your hoo-ha. It's going to be like, things have been tense. So it's, it's very real and validating. And then lucky enough, we get some good news sometimes. So
yes, good news. We need good news. Definitely with and even with what's going on in California.
Oh my gosh.
Well, yeah. Just say prayers for them for sure. Send
Absolutely.
them lots of light, love and light. So Moto says balance of elements.
Yeah. I mean, in the Magician, you got all the elements represented. So you got cups, which are water, pentacles, which are earth, swords, which are air, and wands, which are fire. So yes, balance of the elements.
Yeah. That's so exciting. I saw a clip before we came on today where a gentleman had invented a hoverboard that hovers above the ground pretty high, maybe 10, 20 feet. And I mean, we know that those exist anyway, but this guy was riding it all around town, all over the place, in traffic, above the traffic. And it was amazing. He's just standing on this hoverboard that he invented himself, just flying around. He did adhere to the rules of the road, but I can't wait for that day.
All I can hear is meet George Jetson.
Right. It's so exciting. I just see so many exciting things moving forward for us. Moto says a great many astrologers are viewing 2025 as a year of intense transformation. Definitely. Well, we're moving from the Kali Yuga in Hindu philosophy, from the Kali Yuga, which is the lowest yuga of all these what the Hindu philosophies are. There's 4 ages of the 4 ages. The Kali is the last one, the one that is the lowest in frequency, the most negative of all the yugas. And we're moving from the Kali Yuga into the Satya Yuga, which is the golden age. And that is the first of all the yugas. And this one is going to last for millions of years, according to the Hindu philosophy. I love that. That's my favorite.
I will
favorite
take all
prophecy. What's that?
I said, I will take all of that.
I know. Millions of years in a golden age, and we're moving, into a golden age, which it just when you look around and you feel the vibe when you're tuning in, it just you can feel it. And
Yep.
we're coming to the end of the old age. Oh, and it also the Satya Yuga, the Hindu philosophy, what did a little bit of study on it, says that is supposed to hit in February 2025.
Wow. Right when my tarot classes start.
I was just going to bring that. And here's our segue.
Oh
Here's our
man.
segue. Yes. So Holly is teaching a tarot course in February with the Academy, Kumara Academy. So I'm really excited about that. It'll be
I'm really excited about that.
yeah, the whole month of February for introduction to tarot. Go ahead and share a little bit about that, Holly.
Yeah, we'll be doing a 4-week online class, so you can join from anywhere. And this will be a 4-week beginner's course. So whatever skill level you might be, you are welcome. If you buy a deck of tarot cards the day before, you can participate in this class. And we will go over breaking down all of the systems, the numerology, the suits, the major arcana, the minor arcana, like all of this stuff. And you will understand it by the time we're done. You'll get course materials that you can keep. The classes will be recorded, so you can watch them later if you're not able to make it to class. And then we'll also be doing lots of hands-on practice through the magic of breakout rooms. And so you'll definitely know how to do tarot after this course. And then I think we're also planning on hopefully doing some other tarot courses later in the year that will be more geared at intermediate and advanced students. So if you start now, you can hop on the train and ride it all year with us if you want. So
Nice, nice. And you can find that on the Kumara Academy website, KUMARAACADEMY.com. And yeah, and so it sounds like a lot of fun. Definitely, I can't wait. I might even take it myself for sure. All right, so you can get a hold of or contact Holly on the website, the Kumara Academy website, but also Holly, how can people get a hold of you as well?
you can contact me on my website, which is www.crystalseedtarot.com, all one word. And you can also get a hold of me on Facebook, on Instagram, Bat Signal. I don't know. But yeah, and I've got links on my website and stuff posted on Facebook for class registration as well, to get you pointed in the right direction if you want to take that class. So
Nice.
on full
Nice.
blast.
Awesome. Any parting words you'd like to share with the audience tonight?
I think I really highly recommend that you try your hand at tarot because it will introduce you to like everything in metaphysics, basically. So if you're wanting to get into metaphysical stuff or dipping your toe in the water of psychic stuff, this is a fantastic way to give you, it's like a sampler platter of metaphysical stuff to kind of work with. And you'll really get to learn how to trust yourself, which is really the most beautiful part. And
Right.
receive awesome messages, receive healing messages, and we'll have fun. So come have fun with us.
Yeah, totally. And I'm sure a lot of people want to learn how to read tarot. I hear that a lot. And
Yeah.
every fair and I used to do fairs myself. Actually, I have a business where we do fairs, but the tarot card readers are just lined up like crazy. So
Oh yeah. Yep.
yeah, it's people want that for sure. For some reason, it
Yep.
just draws people. The tarot draws people.
I think it's, it's fun because you get cards to play with, and
Right.
so it's different than a psychic reading where it's just going to be talking. And then
You have a tool.
yeah, and when you're doing tarot, with me or certain readers, you get to shuffle, and so it's more interactive, I think, in a certain
Right. Thank you so much, Holly, for being here. It was so much fun, and thank you for that reading. It was awesome. Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone, for watching, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Thank you.
I'm Sharon Kumara, and you have been listening to Awakened Soul Radio on Transformation Talk Radio. I invite you to embark on a transformative journey with us. Awakened Soul is a safe, sacred space for exploring the depths of our consciousness. Each episode, you will be inspired to shed the illusions that bind you, connect more deeply with your inner wisdom, and step into a liberating life of freedom, clarity, and purpose. To connect with me, visit kumaraacademy.com.